was said that Dunstan nailed a horseshoe to the devil's hoof, and the devil cried so loudly in pain, he agreed never to enter a room over which a horseshoe hung, if only Dunstan would take the shoe off.
Our final topic is the Great Schism. This is a schism, or a split, between the eastern and western sectors of the church. Before this time, the church was all one congruous body, but after 1054, the two sides split permanently into the Roman Catholic Church and the Greek Orthodox Church, which are still what they're known by today. The split happened for a number of reasons. First of all, the Eastern Church was more founded on Greek philosophy, and they also spoke primarily Greek. And the Western Church was more founded on Roman principles like law and customs, and they spoke Latin. So already we have a disparity between the languages and sort of like their foundation, their philosophical ideas. They also fought over some sort of like petty issues like whether or not to use unleavened bread in communion, or whether or not priests had to be celibate. The main theological difference that they had was regarding the Holy Spirit. The word used to describe this is filioque, which is Latin for "and from the Son." The West added this phrase into the Nicene Creed, and it meant that the Holy Spirit comes from both the Son and the Father. And this was something that the Eastern Church didn't really agree with. They didn't have sort of the same founding fathers like St. Augustine or Thomas Aquinas, who had instilled these sort of ideas into their theology. And so when the West added that phrase into the creed, the Eastern people got really mad because they thought it was sort of not allowed to add things to creeds that had been previously decided upon. And so the West didn't really ask the East if they could like insert this little phrase, so the East got really mad. They also argued over issues like original sin, free will, the Immaculate Conception, purgatory. Another big struggle was basically who had the most power in the church. And the Roman Pope Leo said that he was the most powerful member of the church, that he had higher rank over the other rulers of the Pentarchy. The Pentarchy was a group of 5 cities which were all sort of heads of the church, and those included Rome, Antioch, Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Constantinople. But Pope Leo from Rome said that, he was basically better and more powerful than all of those other cities and their leaders. And obviously they didn't like that. And especially the leader from Constantinople, whose name was Michael Cerelius, didn't want Pope Leo to be in charge of everything. So in 1054, because of all these things that had been building up, they excommunicated each other. Pope Leo and Michael Cerelius were like, "You can't be in my church," and the other guy was like, "Oh, you can't be in my church." And so obviously they had to start 2 separate churches, and that is how we get the Greek Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church. In 1965, they sort of recommunicated each other and tried to make things all nice, but the 2 sides still disagree about most things. They're still separate. Our 2 facts. The word filioque means "and of the Son" in Greek. The cities of the Pentarchy were Rome, Antioch, Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Constantinople.